recording.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Joseph.
Cool.
All right, continue.
Yeah, sure thing. So I'll take it from the top. My name is Joseph P. Lopez. I'm the vice president at West Cal Academy. Been in this program since 2015. I was introduced to JP prior to that in 2013. But I really doubled down with West Cal when I had my one of my issues when in a university program. And one of my issues was I knew where I wanted to go, but I did not know exactly how to get there. So I'm sometimes you'll see a point Z and you're at point A. And how do we get from B, C, D, E, F, G and thereafter? That is where West Cal comes in. During approaching my senior year, I gave JP a call to say, hey, I want to be in politics. I want to be in government. I want to be in law. I want to be in that field. I don't know how to get started. And he said, kid, he always calls me kid and he still will. I'm glad for that. He said, kid, you need an internship. You need the work experience to get you there. And I agreed with that. But how did we get there? So he helped me polish my resume, polish my cover letter, polish my confidence, and proceed accordingly. So my first internship was the LA Area Chamber of Commerce. Then I worked for Controller, LA City Controller Ron Galperin in City Hall. Thereafter, I worked in various campaigns and many law firms, and all the way throughout, just giving back, addressing the same issues that the youth of the future and the present currently have, which is, I don't know where to begin. I'm a first generation American, first generation college graduate, a lot of people in that situation. And so it's about giving back, much like what JP has been talking about and Mr. Williams has been talking about as well. So yeah, I'm happy to serve. I'm now in this executive role to facilitate all this to happen, and glad to speak from experience, glad for my teammates. And on we march. We have a lot of great things that we want to accomplish, and a lot of deliverables, and I'm happy to deliver them to the state of California and to our governor.
Wow. Yeah, I can see you right now in a executive position somewhere, you know, helping put together policy and law. I can see it right now, JP. Now, are you JP also, or are you so?
Yeah.
Are you another JP?
Yeah, I am. I am another JP in this mix, but you know, Joseph's fine. Joseph or Joe is perfectly fine for me. So yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Damone and JP, young JP, do you guys have any questions of Joseph? Because he's one of the people that we want to do a little bit of capture and understand how he's going to you know, really accomplish all the things that he just mentioned. And be able to kind of, you know, do a story that sets up, you know, his ascension to this role. Any questions you guys may have for him?
Yeah, just off the top of my head. So like, what's the general kind of vision or idea that you want the whole production to kind of wrap around? That's what I want to know.
Well, I'll answer it in two ways. Number one, JP has a phenomenal story about his father and how he got started and everything. So it's a really good story. Spotlight that too. And everybody here has a great story from the team. You know, it's once you get to see more about it, you'll it's a profound effect. Yeah, but this conversation started with apprenticeships. You know, we'll see how that plays out, but I don't know about, I was kind of thrown into this production question, to be fair with you, but you know, I make it as good as you can.
Joseph, in mediation, we would say you're just parachuting in. You just parachuted in. You're sitting down. You're looking around. You're meeting people, and you know, moving the ideas forward into action.
Right. So,
and then I'm going to put my finger up for girl power. So if you're going to interview, what comes to mind is Sterlina, who has her evolving story, and then oh my gosh, one of the new apprentices that you have, JP, you know the one I'm talking about. I can't think of her name. One that almost
Brianna.
Thank you.
Yeah.
because we want representation for the girls too.
Oh, absolutely. And we're looking, well, actually, we're going to be onboarding tomorrow. I just got a confirmation from the Brotherhood Crusade that we can do tomorrow. This is for young JP. I've got a young lady who is going for her master's. She's 21 years of age and she went to an HBCU, but she's going to be doing her master's remotely from Los Angeles. And she wants to, I think, be in IT, but she said that she wants to really get into communications and where policy and law can connect with communication. So I'm like, wow. But in the interim, she wants to apply all the things she's learned about, you know, being an influencer and actually being a social media maven into the things that she can help us with our efforts to take all the content and publish and distribute it. So her name is Mariah. So tomorrow, JP, if you're able to come to Brotherhood Crusade, you might meet Mariah. So we'll be working on that. And, you know, we're really looking for representation across the board from every single person who wants to be part of our team. And that's really the most important thing for me, is building, you know, team building, collaboration, and more importantly for everybody to understand what that means at a real granular level, because I don't think people teach collaboration and teamwork enough to my satisfaction.
So what I'm hearing, I've been soaking in information since I logged in, and this is all valuable information. So from what I'm hearing is that the folks coming into your apprenticeship, Kevin, that there's one element that's missing, and that element missing is the wraparound skills. That's what I'm hearing as one of the issues.
Well,
And-
it's one of the things that I want to have the older JP help us with the understanding of something called Tay Wow. It's a component of what JP and the younger JP and Damone are doing to fulfill their hours with the city of Los Angeles. And that's how I've kind of been introduced to Renee, is what are some of the more robust services that could augment what Tay Wow is to the city of Los Angeles program, which I wanted to ask Damone, and finish your statement, Joseph, but I think obviously we want to have the deluxe package of wraparound services for professional development for our young people.
Yeah, sure. That's the direction I'm taking with our pre-apprenticeship for West Cal Academy. We can, you know, each week we have different fields that students get introduced to, because it addresses the issue of, oh, is this something I really want to do? And they either get confirmation is what they want to do, or they're like, okay, you know what, maybe I want to try something else. And that's acceptable. It's totally fine. Additionally, talk about personal branding, resume writing, social media responsibility. What you post and what you comment is out there for life.
Forever.
So that does have a real world consequence for career advancement. So those are the wraparounds that wraparound skills that I believe you're looking for based on what I'm hearing. And JP, John Paul President Tabakian, is there any supplement to that?
Well, let me do this first. So I'm the serving president of West Cal Academy. I say serving because one day I will die, as everyone else. And so I'm the founding president of West Cal, and I'm what's called an original pathways baby. For you youngins here, what that means is that in the federal government, there was a federal mentorship program called Pathways. I was one of the first ones. And it's a mentorship program to mentor people for federal employment in multiple agencies. It's a long story, very compressed. During the Obama administration, it went off to another level of growth and pathways. And so at the same time, when I was doing recruitment programs for the federal government, especially in areas that are underrepresented in the federal system, When I say federal system, everyone thinks I work in prisons or something. No, there are more things than military and prisons in the federal government, like Department of Interior, if you like, force, things like that. So anyway, my dad was an instructor at LA Trade Tech College. That's why I kept picking on you, Kevin, about LATTC. I have a 46-year history with that campus. I went to school there. I was raised there. When my dad was getting his tenure, hadn't gotten it yet. I was not even 1 year old, and I pooped on the president's carpet. Can you imagine the look of fear on a new professor going, my tenureship is gone? But that was President Stevens. A really great history in that area. So I came back as an instructor in 2004 while working with the federal government and was stationed everywhere. But when I was at the Federal Bureau in Wilshire, I was conducting recruitment programs with the LA Community College District. It's great. 3 years later, on April 29th, 2007, my dad was shaving and got a blood infection and gave him a heart attack. Be careful when you shave, ladies and gentlemen, because bad set of circumstances, you're dead. And so he had a heart attack from a blood infection, and he lived in 3 hospitals over the course of 18 months. Torrance Memorial Medical Center, UCLA Westwood, and then Providence Little Company of Mary Hospital, primarily in San Pedro for acute rehab. He was the first person in the world to receive a biventricular pacer powered by a nuclear battery. The second person in the world to receive that was Vice President Dick Cheney. So, then what's interesting in all this is 13 of his nurses were his students. It was a nursing program at Trade Tech. 3 of his doctors were his previous students. My students worked on him. I had one doctor flying from Hopkins to work on my father. And my dad suffered from a condition where if you take a knife and stab him, he doesn't feel it that much. It's a cursing and it's a blessing and a curse. If you break your leg, you don't know. So it's one of those conditions, right? So my dad watched his own surgery when he woke up because he's a scientist and he thought this is so cool. He had multiple procedures. A month before he passed away, he asked me in front of his doctor, who's his very good friend, Dr. Castleman. Understand we're Armenian background, so we have a very sarcastic, dry sense of humor. So this is not said in a bad way at all, okay? This is how we deal with the world. My dad asked me, he says, because the doctor said, you're going to pass away, that's it. And my dad responded, cool. So John Paul, you're going to open up a scholarship in my name? I went, that would be a colossal waste of money. He said, oh, I love you too. Why would you say that to your father who's about to pass away? I said, Dad, you are the ultimate academic entrepreneur. You invest in people, and I mean, this is just a medical story. We have aerospace defense. My dad has helped people go into the federal system. This is why I got in this line of business as well. And my dad is just nuts in a good way, right? See all these students working on my dad. It was a blessing. So I said, I have money. I wasn't hitched at the moment. There was no Joseph in my life. And, I'm a young, rambunctious brat running around, making money, having fun. And I said, I'm going to publish a study. I'm going to get another doctorate in education leadership. I'm going to publish a study on academic entrepreneurialism. I'm going to dedicate it to you. And I'm going to build a private company as a doctor. And I'm going to charge parents a lot of money, minimum $5,000 per person, to talk with them once a week for 16 weeks and get them placing jobs. I made a lot of money from that. And at the same time, I took that income and I provided services for free in communities of need. So like Robin Hood, steal from the rich and help the poor, right? And I'm single again. I mean, who gives a damn? You're not going to take it with you to the other side or anything like that. And it's just like, hey, maybe one day I'll get sick and my students will work on me too. My lips to God's ears, hopefully this doesn't happen. So while building the private company, I was looking for the right people to launch the foundation. And that happened in 2015, working with the federal government, the Federal Pathways Program, my contacts, finding the Joseph, finding Dr. Smith. There's a lot of people that are part of West Cal. We built this foundation together. You know, I'm one peg of a very large wheel, you know, and according to my weight, I'm a pretty damn big peg, but it is what it is. So this company, this foundation is dedicated to helping any person who wants the opportunity to achieve success in our country. We also have students in Bangladesh. I mean, we have students all over the world, all over the country. And I think the best way to show you what West Cal does is to show you a 2-minute video. You want to see it, what you're going to be touring? Here you go. Let me do this right now. Can you enable screen sharing?
You know,
for
and,
me?
and because I'm on the cell phone, let me see if I can find that function. Oh boy.
Also, the story of how JP and Sterlina, his fiance, met is a really cool story too.
Okay, guys. Ah, man, this is not possible. Come on. Okay,
It should let you do it.
I think I just did it. Do you have screen sharing now? Hmm.
Let me see. Nope, still disabled. Let me
It's,
see.
yeah, still
I'm
disabled.
going to ask you.
Yeah, on my phone, I can't find the functions. You see, screen
Can you
share.
make JP the co-host?
Host. Yeah.
Background disconnect here. Wow. Okay,
You
chat.
can select me as a participant. Or I can send everyone a link.
Yeah, I think with this one, we're going to have to do it that way because this hopefully will be research material for our production and our
Okay.
pre-production work. Because both of these guys as apprentices, this will be, and I'm glad that young JP put it in context for us, production, because this is now gone from an intro to pre-production to our interest in making sure that we can execute something that's going to make us proud of each other.
So I can actually send a link to all
yeah.
of you.
Yeah, send the link, and then what
Oh.
we'll do, because we're probably coming up on the 1 hour for our call. We like to try to keep all of our calls to 1 hour. I want to be able to see if we can set up our second meeting as the second escalator for pre-production to find not only a calendar date and time where we can do all the things necessary to get ourselves set up for pre-production, but more importantly, just trading more information so that you know, we have all the stuff collated that we need to make this thing possible. So I'm going to ask, you know, Renee, since you brought us together, do you have any questions, suggestions, or comments? Because we have other meetings, even leading up to this next pre-production opportunity. Anything you can think of that will help us in our efforts to come together for making movie magic.
Right now, I think it's the information. Number one, it would be the information exchange, where each of you has your video clip so you can really eyeball what the other does. And then definitely go down and do a tour. And I like the idea of really the cross interview. In a sense, I think that that has value on both sides. And that really, I think, is where the sparks are going to ignite. Because you are already apparently crossing over in different areas, no different people in the set. I mean, you both know county people, you both know city people, and it's who knows who and what are you doing and where can you help each other, or where is it, you know what, it's a nice idea, but we need to find a different partner for that space. My thought
So
is
actually,
looking,
Sure.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to say that. Go ahead, Renee.
No,
This is
no,
mine,
go.
sorry. No, I was going to say also, we hold the master service agreement for LA County probation. So all those articles in the paper about bringing in apprenticeship vocational programs for secure youth, secure track youth. Our program started off as a pilot at Dorothy F. Kirby Center. We got some money and we're building out and we're expanding, and that will become the new LA model. So we can do this in one of two ways. I mean, I have everyone's email. I can send you a link right now to show you the 2-minute video, because I think you need to see where you're going to, what you're going to be seeing when you come over and who the parties are involved. I can do it right now.
Okay. So we'll hop on that
Okay.
one real quick.
Yep, I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
Send you in a bit.
See you
Yeah,
in 30 seconds.
just log in when you get it. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, so that concludes, I guess, this call. And again, we'll look at the video being made available via, I'm looking in the chat box here. I don't see it. Do you
I
see the
think
link?
he emailed.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, great. So we'll as a group effort.
Actually,
It's a Zoom, yeah.
actually what he wants us to do is to sign out and then sign in under his Zoom link so that he can then control the screen.
Okay, so we send it to us via email. Okay,
Yep.
all right.
So let's bounce out and then we'll go in on his end.
Okay, great. All right.
Okay,
See
sounds
you
good.
guys. All right, bye.